Hey there, Alex Kidman here, and I recently had the chance to go hands-on with Foxtel's new hardware, Hubble. Now, Hubble's kind of weird because it's a software platform and it's a set-top box, and there's also Hubble Glass, which is a TV, but they use the Hubble term kind of interchangeably. In this case, I'm looking at the set-top box and I'm looking at the TV. Now, this is not a full-on review. This was really just hands-on, very controlled kind of stuff, but it did give me an idea of what they're doing here that works really well, and the stuff where I think they might need to improve a little. Full review will be coming once I've actually been able to independently test the hardware out. That's really important. The actual Hubble set-top box is a pretty simple thing. 99 bucks, standard antenna, standard Ethernet, HDMI, and power, and that's pretty much a lot. Reminds me design-wise a little bit of the old Telstra TV units, but nothing exceptional here. But then it's a set-top box. You don't really need them to be all that fancy, because fancy is very much more saved for the Hubble Glass TV. The Hubble Glass is a 55 or 65-inch TV running the Hubble platform, 4K ready, but not super high-end in terms of specs, but then not priced like a super high-end TV either. And the idea here, and pretty much the entire idea of Hubble that they're trying to pitch, is simplicity. As opposed to having set-top boxes, as opposed to having complex UIs, you've got something which shows you just about everything that you might be subscribed to within the Australian context, although I'll get to that in a minute because it's not quite everything. The primary interface looks pretty good. It's nicely slick. That sort of feels like table stakes these days because, frankly, what you can get in terms of just base UI off most streaming sticks or boxes, they're pretty good too. It's very much built out of work done by Comcast in the States and Sky in the UK, where they have very similar products under slightly different names. But look, it's certainly quite functional, and there's a few quite neat features in here as well. So for example, it smartly tracks your viewing. Here, we've been searching for Hunger Games. It's shown, hey, it's available on Amazon Prime, but maybe we've been watching it on Netflix already. It flicks over to Netflix. It goes, okay, I know you've been watching it that way and it's available there, so watch it. Smart stuff. I like it. The individual watch lists are also kind of interesting. Rather than profiles right at the start, you instead have watch lists, and it will show on the UI if a piece of content has been ordered by one person or more than one person with a watch list because they want to watch it. It'll also snitch on you if you've started watching it before someone else in your family has, so look out for that. Then there's subscription stacking, and this is an interesting one. So the idea here is that if you're happy for Hubble to handle all your billing and you get multiple services, and this is not just your Kayo's or Binge or their new lifestyle service, but things like Netflix as well, then you get a discount on those services for bundling them all together. You do have to have your billing through them as well, and they will do that transfer for external services. The discount that you get is off the services where they can do that discount. So fundamentally, what they're really doing here is pushing more Kayo, more Binge, that kind of stuff, because it's easier for them to do the discounts that way. Still, it's a neat thing to see if you are in a household where you subscribe to a lot of these kinds of services, as a lot of people do. Nice, easy way to handle it as well. And that brings me on to the question of apps, because unlike competing platforms, unlike, say, a Chromecast or a Fire TV, you're not really exactly installing apps on this thing. Instead, they're being installed for you. This is a fully managed platform, and not everyone will like or appreciate that. And the idea here is that everything that it can do is already pre-installed. It'll just add those apps over time as they are available. A bit more similar to how Fetch does it than how similar small streaming boxes do it. And the idea here is more meant to be around the integration of the whole thing, automatically launching into things rather than launching individual apps, that kind of thing. Takes a bit more processing power, takes a bit more work behind the scenes. Does make me wonder how this is going to look in 2 to 3 years' time, and whether they will fall into that situation that, for example, Fetch has, where there are certain streaming services you might want, your Crunchyrolls and the like, that are just simply not there. We'll have to wait and see. The other pitch here is around the TV Guide and the integration of free-to-air TV. And you will get the option, and this is an interesting one, of launching the IPTV version of a catch-up channel or its live version if you've got an antenna plugged in through the Hubble Glass or the Hubble set-top box. And look, it all works fairly well. This is interesting stuff in a way for those people who still watch a lot of linear TV as well. Although the focus here is really more on streaming. Still, there's only a few other streaming boxes that you can get that include an integrated antenna if that's important to you. Final quick thoughts. I like the fact that the remote color is integrated in with the color of the TV you buy. That's kind of cool. You don't get that with the set-top box, of course. Although the side of the Hubble glass is really kind of chunky for a new TV. That's an interesting choice in and of itself. And this will be an interesting choice for some people. Certainly not for everyone. Lots of competition in the market. Stay tuned for a full review when I can actually properly independently test it. Thanks for watching.